Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wa salatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. We continue reading. And in fact, inshallah, this is the very last reading of the 40 principles, 40 fundamentals of the religion, Al-Arba'in fi Usul Din by Imam Al-Ghazali rahimahullah. Wa nafa'ana bi'ulum fi ad-darain. We have completed the reading of the 40 principles. And now we have an epilogue. And the title of the epilogue in English is challenging the ego, but it's basically مناظرة النفس, and as if basically there is a debate, as if there is a conversation with the nafs. Know that we have alerted you and aroused your interest. So if you turn away from listening or listen with only the outer layer of your heart, just as you would listen to formal speech, then you are filthy and have lost. You have not wronged anyone but yourself. And here Imam Al-Ghazali quotes a verse from the Quran. وَمَنْ أَظْلَمُ مِمَّنْ ذُكِّرَ بِآيَاتِ رَبِّهِ فَأَعْرَضَ عَنْهَا وَنَسِيَ مَا قَدَّمَتْ يَدَاهُ إِنَّا جَعَلْنَا عَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ أَكِنَّةً أَنْ يَفْقَهُوا وَفِي آذَانِهِمْ وَقْرًا وَإِنْ تَدْعُهُمْ إِلَى الْهُدَى فَلَنْ يَهْتَدُوا إِذًا أَبَدًا. Who is more wrong than he who is reminded of his Lord's signs, then turns away from them and forgets what his hands have put forward. Indeed, we have put covers over their hearts, so they do not understand it, and there is deafness in their ears. If you call them to guidance, never will they ever be guided. And I'm sure that those who keep the sunnah of reciting Surah Al-Kahf would have read this verse every week, pretty much every week. If, on the other hand, you listen as the intelligent, keenly insightful person listens, and reflects as someone with a receptive heart reflects, or as someone who listens and watches intently, then you have stepped out of everything that would obstruct you from traversing the straight path. And nothing obstructs you but the love of the world and heedlessness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the last day. Strive to clear your heart every day for a moment after the dawn prayer, which is during a time of clarity for the mind. Reflect on your affair and look into your beginning and your end. Take account of yourself and say to it, I am a traveling merchant. My profit is eternal joy and meeting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. My loss is eternal sorrow and being veiled from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And my capital is my lifespan. And every breath I breathe is a treasure among treasures and a jewel among jewels. for through it eternal joy is attained. And what treasure is greater than this? When life ends, commerce is cut off and despair occurs. This day is a new day. Through it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me time. If He were to cause me to die, I would desire that He return me to the world so that I might do righteous deeds. O self, regard yourself as having died and come back to the world for one more day. Strive on this one day and look at yourself. For if you are not given time for tomorrow, then you will have exhausted the profit of this day and will not regret it. If you are given time, then start again tomorrow, just as before. Do not trick yourself with empty hopes of forgiveness, for that belief is certainly a liar. And regret is of no benefit. I think the Arabic is different. Okay, and ولا تخدعن نفسك بتمني العفو فإن ذلك ظن قد يكذب. So the English translation fails to capture the Arabic. So in English here it says, do not trick yourself with empty hopes for forgiveness. Do not really deceive yourself. Do not deceive yourself by wishing for forgiveness. For that belief is certainly a liar? No. In Arabic it says قد ظن قد يكذب. It might be a false hope. It might be a lie. It might be. Because hope is, people should not have despair. And hope might work. Okay, you might have done something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has accepted. This is not to encourage you to be lazy. But it's simply it's a search for accuracy. Yes. And regret is of no benefit. Then suppose that you were forgiven. Have you still not squandered the reward of the righteous, which is enough to cause regret and remorse? If your ego says, what should I do? And how should I strive? You say, abandon whatever will separate from you at death, and adhere to the inevitable, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the mighty King, and seek closeness to Him through His remembrance. If it says, how can I leave the world while its attachments have become firmly established in my heart? You say, turn to cutting off worldly attachments from inside your heart, as we have taught you in the 10 principles of the destructive traits. Scrutinize the predominant attachments: love of wealth or status, envy or enmity, the desire of the belly or the private parts, or other destructive traits. Scrutinize the predominant attachments. There are many attachments, but these are the major ones: love of wealth or status, money, status, envy or enmity, the bodily desires, the two major lusts. There's nothing you can do but reflect on the world's ills, which destroy you, This will motivate you to this will motivate you for the struggle against it and opposing its dictates, and then you will have been delivered from it. May Allah support you with His enablement and aid. Then you say, suppose that you were sick for a period in your life, and your life is a period in which you seek protection, and a doctor whom you believe to be truthful has informed you that the pleasures of food harm you and bad tasting medicines benefit you. Would you not, due to that doctor's statement, be patient with the bitterness of medicine out of your desire for healing? Would you not be patient with the difficulties of long travel out of your desire for rest in your home? You are a traveler, and your home is the afterlife. The traveler does not rest, but bears the difficulties. For if he stops for rest, he will be stopped on the path and destroyed. Also say, O self, what is it that you seek from the world? If you seek wealth and find it, and beware, then there could be a group of Jews who are wealthier than you. If you seek status and attain it, and beware, then there are uncouth Turks and fools from among the Kurds who will conquer you, and their status would be greater than your status. Let's contextualize this by saying that he is referring to a specific moment in history, and this is not a universal, uh, you know, state of these peoples. The same thing applies to the Arabs, because in pre-Islam also they were in a probably worse situation as idol worshippers and all the things that they used to do in the Jahiliyyah, the age of ignorance. If you do not comprehend the ills of the world and the severity of their punishment and tribulation in the afterlife, you will not then rise above them on account of the lowliness of those who partake in them. Do you not know that if you turned away from the world and turned to the afterlife, you would be one in a million, for which no peer in the countries of the world exists? And if you seek the world, then Jews and fools have beaten you to it. So to hell with a world that you were beaten by an ass, a donkey. In fact, it's in the plural, donkeys in Arabic. Think deeply or self-examine yourself, for no one else will examine you. As just simply, there are certain expressions, like when it says here, one in a million. It means you are rare, Farid, Farid, Faridat al-Dahr, if we talk about the nafs, because he and nafs. In fact, the word million did not exist in Arabic then. They would say alf, alf. Do not stop debating your ego like this until it conforms to you in traversing Allah's straight path, subhanahu wa ta'ala. This debate is more important to you if you are rational than debating the Hanafis, the Mu'tazila, and others. Like all these debates between Muslims online. Why do you agitate and argue with them when their differences do not harm you, nor their mistakes or the mistakes of others. Really, well, I'm happy for the young man who takes a serious path of as a student, regardless of which school he chooses to follow. If he wants to be Hanafi, that's beautiful. If he wants to be Maliki, that's beautiful. If he wants to be Shafi'i, that's beautiful. If he wants to be Hanbali, that's beautiful. And Imam Al-Ghazali at the beginning of the Ihya, he is very respectful to all of these. But he does begin, by the way, when he mentions them, he mentions Imam Shafi'i first. Being respectful, being appreciative, making dua for them. But at least you choose a school, and you are not simply without one. They do not accept that your opinion is correct, neither would you accept that their opinion was correct, even if its correctness were clearer than the sun. You engage in this while your most fierce adversary is right in front of you. Yet do not dispute or debate with him. Rather, you help him with what he demands from you concerning false inner desires. Thus, through intricate reasoning you deceive or derive loopholes for satisfying your desires. Is this anything other than the very essence of being turned upside down and inside out? Have you ever seen a man notice a snake or scorpion under his garment, set to destroy him, while he takes a fan to shoo away flies from around someone else's face? Would someone who does this not deserve humiliation? Know that this is your state when you busy yourself with debating others while turning away from debating yourself. In this display, the spirit of your deeds will be revealed to you on the day when secrets will be made known. Just as I called your attention to the way that unveilings of the afterlife are indicated by the secrets of deeds and their spirit. So long as you do not debate your ego for an extended period, you shall never be left alone to converse with. Remember and turn to your Lord. Furthermore, your way of dealing with the ego, if it differs with you, should be to punish it with what deters it, and know that it is like a dog. It will not be trained except by being struck. If you want to learn the technique for debating it, watching over it, taking it to account, and punishing it, then seek this from the book of taking into account and watching over, for indeed it is not possible to cover it in this book. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enable you and us to obey him through his grace and the breadth of his generosity subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is most certainly powerful over whatever he wills and able to answer our prayers. May Allah bless and give peace to our Master Muhammad, and all praise is due to Allah, Lord of the worlds. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.